next what we're going to do, we're going to say this dot lines, so because we want to actually read the lines. Now remember what we did up here, we created a string called lines, and we want to store the, as we're reading the file, we want to store that inside that string, the whole entire file in one string. And the way we do that, again, we do SR, just it would read one line, or I could read to end, and that's what I want. I want to read the entire file to the end. Now I'm going to use the regular expression I talked about earlier. So I'm going to say this, and this time I'm going to do collection because I want to identify a certain pattern. So this collection, and I'm going to say regular expression dot matches. I want to get all the matches that exist this dot. So whatever's in lines, so just make it clear, we say this collection, which is referring to this collection up here, and we can say a regular expression matches. It reads all the lines that's been stored because we read all the file inside here, so we kind of copied the file content and we placed it inside a variable called lines. Now we're reading that lines, and I'm trying to identify what matches in that file, how many times, and what's the match we can find. And this is the match that we're actually passing to it. We're going to say at, and inside that string what we're looking for is a \r, and what \r basically means is a return key. So it's looking for return, and that will tell us how many lines exist. So it would actually split that into different lines. Now what I want to do once I've done that is I've actually got a little counter here, it's called line count. So I want to bring that into use right now. So the way I'm going to do that is going to say this dot line count, and I say equals this dot collection, and this time we're going to count. So what that's going to do is going to go through here, and then it's going to count how many times it's got a return. So it starts a new line, and that will give us an idea, a count of the lines, and that's the way to do it. And so we need to find how many spaces, and by counting the spaces between words we can identify how many words the file contains. So that's the other thing, and it's exactly pretty much similar to this, except this time we're going to add space, which is a \. So we do the same thing again, this collection. Now one thing maybe I didn't make clear is we've got that @ symbol, the asterisk, and what that basically does is actually ignores any escape characters. Now normally in a string you would have an escape character, so if you had one of those backslashes, it would actually escape the quotations or anything after it. So if that had like a quotation there, then it would ignore that. So we don't want that to happen. We want to actually treat it as a string, part of the actual string. The way to do that is you put that asterisk in the beginning, and that will help us later on if the user types in a complete path for the file. We can actually use that as well. The way to count the spaces, we put a \s. Now you could do it this way, or the other way you could do it is you can actually do it this way as well. So I can just put that space like that, and that will basically count how many spaces that exist. But there's something else that I want to do, which could cause a problem, because what it could do, it can actually just look for just one, and then in between the next line of words there could be a new line on \r, so that it might not actually count all the words correctly. So we want to find a number of things inside that string. So we want to find obviously the space, and I want to find /return and a /n as well. So if any or all these appear in the string, then it should count as a word. If this is between word to another word, then it counts it as one word. I hope this is making sense, because sometimes I can even confuse myself, so it's a bit of fun doing this. Right, so what do we do next is pretty much the same as what we did up here, but this time we're counting words. So instance of all these three, or one of those three appearing, it counts as one word. So this time this dot word count this time equals this dot collection dot count.